We may not be far from one of the highest rated uncommitted quarterbacks in the 2026 cycle coming off the board. Brian Smith, recruiting analyst, host of the Portal Podcast, is here to discuss Bo Bentley down to LSU and Oklahoma. Brian, I'll get your rankings back up here for those on YouTube in a moment, but you've got him as the number 5 quarterback in the class of 2026. Let's start with the latest. What are you hearing about where he is leaning?
Depends on who you talk to, but the latest I heard was LSU was surging. This is a kid that lives just north of Dallas, grew up an Oklahoma fan, but LSU's also had 2 Heisman winners at that all-important quarterback position recently. Coach Sloan knows quarterbacks, etc. You know what? It wouldn't shock me. Like, LSU is a recruiting machine, and if you haven't ever noticed, Spencer, they tend to have wide receivers. Quarterbacks like wide receivers. I will go out on a limb and speak for Bo Bentley on that. So Oklahoma's passing game last year, maybe not the best, and maybe that's hurting them a bit, but it's still those 2 schools. And the other factor here, he doesn't get to see Oklahoma be resurrected before most quarterbacks make their decision. The season doesn't start till late August, early September. His visit to LSU is May 30th. The following weekend, he goes to Norman to visit the Sooners, June 6th. So that's kind of interesting. LSU is the more stable source. Let's just be honest. How much of a factor does that play? To me, that is the ultimate question that only Bo Bentley can answer. But I'd heard Oklahoma until today. I heard LSU. So this is wild, man. This is why I love recruiting, and we're in the middle of it, man. This is my time.
Yeah, this is the fun time. And for Bentley, when you look at these 2 programs, Brian, you mentioned that LSU has been more consistent, more stable. I think right now, nationally, it's kind of strange to hear such glowing things be said about the LSU program, because I think there are plenty of people that can look at, the Tigers under Brian Kelly right now and say, well, they've kind of underachieved. There was that Jaden Daniels year. That wasn't very good. Lost to USC to begin last year. Didn't make the playoff. But you look up and Brian Kelly's won, 10 games, 9 games, 8 games. He's won at least 8 games every single year that he's been there. Brent Venables can't say that. Brent Venables has got 2 seasons under 500 right now. So if, and this is an if, of course, because there are a lot of factors in play, if you're just looking at current program trajectory and prestige, between these 2, Brian, I'm taking LSU.
It's not close. The 2019 LSU team gives them an extra bump. That's maybe the greatest football team I've ever seen. But yeah, and there's a chance that LSU's in the playoff this year. The hype and everything they can sell around that. They've got a Heisman contender, Nussmeier at quarterback, another Bayou Bengal that's got a chance to get drafted very, very highly. Some think he might even be a top 10 pick. Those things are going to be selling factors. I don't know what he wants to do, and if his heart's still at Oklahoma, it is what it is. But he's got to ask himself, do I want to go there and risk committing to a school where the coach is on absolutely the hot seat, or the school that's a little more proven, has more talent in LSU? I mean, they're totally different cultures, totally different places, but they're both in the SEC. Of course, that league is massive. But I don't know, man. Like this is why it's fun, though. If you'd have asked me this question, like I told you before the show, 10 minutes earlier, literally, and I'm not kidding, 10 minutes earlier, my answer would have been different based on the intel I got. That's recruiting, though. It changes by the minute, not by the day. It's by the minute. It's awesome.
That's why we record these things as late as humanly possible
100%.
Every single day. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You don't know when the news is gonna break. It could happen 11 o'clock Eastern time. You're like, wait, what? This is I gotta check. You can't do that. That's just a podcasting peek behind the curtain for all of you out there. But talk about Bentley as a prospect, Brian. You have him as the number 5 quarterback in the class of 2026 in your rankings, with Keyshawn Henderson being number 1, Ryder Lyons, who's still out there, USC, Oregon among the schools, with BYU going after him, Faison Brandon at Tennessee, Jared Curtis, number 1 player in my book, going to Georgia. But you've got Bentley at number 5 ahead of Darion Coleman going to Miami. Why do you like Bentley so much?
He's a little bit of everything. He's a guy that is in the moment, makes throws that just are extremely awkward and makes them look easy. He's a guy that, as a runner, he's he could probably play slot receiver. That annoying guy on 3rd and 4 that's always open, Bo Bentley.
Hunter Renfrow. He's Hunter Renfrow at quarterback. Is that what you're Renfrow? There's no T in there. Hunter Renfrow at quarterback. Yeah. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he's a freaky athlete, especially laterally. And as a slot receiver, that would work very well. Here's the other unique thing. He plays at Salina, just north of Dallas, tradition-rich program. But last year was his first year. He waited his chance to start. Hey, by the way, for those of you think about hitting the portal, think about taking your time and getting there. This kid waited, didn't transfer high schools. They go win a state championship. He has over 4,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. Pretty solid stuff.
50.
Yeah. Between running and throw. I don't care what league that you're in, bro. If you're in that category, we're good. And he's doing it in the Dallas area. Like, come on. So he's played 1 year and put up those numbers. Now he has some volume to fall back on and look at film and understand what he did wrong. Good luck to the teams playing him this year, and he's got a high ceiling. I'll take those kind of kids every day of the week because he plays hard. He's got an arm. He can throw it all the way down the field if you need him to, but he's also a guy that'll dink and dunk if you play cover 3 and just roll up in cloud coverage. Okay, that's fine. He finds a way to beat you either way. He's so exciting to watch.
What do you think the impact of getting this guy is for either of these schools? Like, which program do you think needs it more? Because my answer, when I just asked that question out loud, is LSU after the Bryce Underwood situation. I don't think LSU fans with, you know, what they expect from their program and their head coach and how much money is invested down there, I don't think they want to look at a pair of high-end blue-chip quarterback prospects and say, well, got outbid again or got beaten for this time, recruit. Guess we go on to the next one. Like that's just my take on it.
There's 2 ways to look at that. I mean, you're right. Like they both definitely need it, but Oklahoma, like they're probably going to get material for 1 year. I don't think he's going to come back for a 5th year.
I don't know. I was talking about him yesterday.
If he can, then it's a different. I don't know the whole story there.
I think he can. I think he could play 2 years if he wanted to. And if he could, I don't know that he'd be one and done and a bounce to the NFL sort of guy.
He's not the biggest guy. Height-wise, he's not the prototype. He's like 6'1 and a quarter, 6'1.
Nah, he's got a bunch of good traits. He doesn't have a lot of elite traits for the NFL, that is.
Yeah, like as a runner, he's great, but in the NFL, you'll get your head cut off. So you've got to be careful about that. But Oklahoma doesn't have a depth chart with anything. Like he'd be number 2, I think, almost immediately. At LSU, they got more guys. They got Colin Hurley and some other guys coming up the ranks. And there's this thing called if Oklahoma starts poorly and they don't have a quarterback commitment, what are the chances of Brent Venables being around next year?
I wouldn't say very high in that scenario. They've got Michigan at home week 2. I don't know. There are certainly some other high-pressure games. That's got to be top 5 pressure games for a coach.
Yes.
Because you just can't keep going. This is Oklahoma we're talking about. It doesn't matter you're in the SEC. It's Oklahoma. It's year 4.
You got to win at least 8 this year, minimum.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know if they would pull the trigger if it winds up being another 6-7 or 7-6 season. But like it's hard when you make a bowl game, but it's also like, is that the standard? Shouldn't be, but it is at Florida. Doesn't mean it should be, but it is.
Florida and Oklahoma are the 2 schools I'm like, man, y'all better figure this out. There's going to be a lot of people looking for new houses.